Hello?
This is not how we're starting this.
Hello? Hello?
Oh no.
Welcome to the bullshittery. So, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jeff Goldblum.
No, you're not.
Who are you, Sarah?
Too much pressure.
I just said your name, so it doesn't even matter. This is Sara, and I am Jeff Goldblum Jr., also known as
The lemon tree.
the lemon tree, also known as Maddy.
A lot of names there.
I'm your host, Stephanie Glitter Sphincter, also known as Sammy. I had something and then I just forgot all my language skills.
That's how it goes. This is a lot of pressure. We're not talking to people, we're just talking into a microphone, and I'm sure it takes practice to get good at it.
Yeah. I'm sure eventually we'll be okay at it. So I'm Sammy here with the lovely lemon tree Maddy and Sara, who is our little muse here because she's going to be explaining history in terms of how she sees it, which is incorrectly. And so right now we're studying art history as one of our classes, and we had to learn things.
Yep.
I didn't know anything, and then I had to know everything.
Yep.
And that's how it be.
We had our midterm, last week, this week?
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah, this week, I
It'd be like that. Maybe we should start off with a fun question to introduce ourselves.
Okay.
If you were a Crayola crayon color, what would you be called?
Death. Okay, so that's death. I don't know. Sammy, you go. I have to think of one. This is a difficult
Ooh, cherry blossom.
Sarah, you can't be both.
It's my two moods, okay?
Cherry death blossom. Death metal cherry blossom.
What color would that be?
It's the one, you know the thing where you could put two crayons and then blended them together into a swirly crayon?
Yeah, that's me. Cherry blossom death.
Yeah, cherry blossom death.
Cherry death blossom. I like cherry death blossom. I'm gonna write that down.
I'd probably be strawberry milk or pink lemonade or some shit like that.
She's very pink, if you couldn't get that.
I would be Jeff Goldblum's aura. And it would be a color that you can't actually detect.
That'd be so cool.
It's Lovecraftian color where it fades in and out of existence. And the more you look at it, the closer you get to insanity until eventually you meet God and he kills you. That's what Jeff Goldblum's aura is. So,
I'm changing mine to Piccolo's eyes.
Piccolo's eyes.
The most beautiful color.
What are they?
What color are Piccolo's eyes? It doesn't matter the
Stop calling yourself a Piccolo stan if you don't even know anything about him.
I don't have to know anything other than he's beefy.
That's every character in Dragon Ball. It doesn't matter.
It's not the same kind of beefy.
Do you know what
So
color his
anyway.
eyes are?
Beefy. I'm gonna say
His heart is beefy.
No, that's
Blue.
a skin. No.
brown.
No.
Actually,
No.
if your heart is
Red.
beefy, it means that the walls of.
He's black eyes.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Actually, if your heart is beefy, it means that the walls of your heart of the.
She's a sexy girl.
Stop calling Maddy's stomach that.
Keep going. I know
If the walls of your heart are too thick, then your heart has to work hard to pump more blood to your system, and then you die.
That sounds fun.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So you would think that it would be a good thing when your heart gets beefy because you're like, oh, it means it's stronger, but no, it means it's working harder, and you can't fix it. Once that happens, you can't fix it.
I wish you think about my heart. Should we start doing the thing now? Or
Yes.
should we keep making.
So Sara, the goofs will come.
Okay.
That's what when we're late to class and Aaron is wondering where we are. The goofs are coming. The goofs will come.
Good for the story?
That's what we should call ourselves, the Goons.
It's the three cowboys, and it was my last week brain cells going to get more weed, and they were like,
I love that gift.
that's us. We're not going to get more weed. We're going
walking
to class.
in sync, and we're wearing red, white, and blue, and our 10-gallon hats are like 20 gallons instead. Alright, so what era of art should we talk about? We're going to start with like the Italian Renaissance to the High Renaissance, because that's the Renaissance that people know about.
It's true.
So would you care to explain what you know about the Renaissance?
Were they I'm like it because we studied it and I told them. In my head, I think of the Renaissance as the 1200s, but I know that's fake because we talked about the medieval time being the 15th century, but we're ignoring the truth. So it was the 1200s or the Renaissance. You know, it was when they were knights and stuff, and they had castles, and it's like what you see in the movies when there's just like these people and it's really always dark. They never have sunlight.
Ever.
Never have sunlight.
Okay.
And they're just walking around in the dark, and they're like wearing their night costumes, and they have like the little like
costumes.
yeah, they have like the net, the what is it called? It's like the metal like fishnet, but not fishnet, but
chainmail.
Chainmail.
The metal fishnet.
See, now we'll go on a tangent to say that fishnet is goth, but what's more goth?
Chainmail?
Chainmail, because it's Visigoth.
You're right.
Chainmail is kind of goth.
Chainmail's hard goth.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the hard goth. That's Ren.
Go big or go home.
It's Ren Fair goth,
Yeah.
which is the gothest of goth.
Okay.
I mean, it's a different breed of goth.
Okay, wait, I have another question also. So when you say there's never sunlight ever, do you mean that it's cloudy or do you mean that it's nighttime always?
It gets. Do you know?
Or like they blew up the sun.
No. Do you know like 4 p.m. when it's winter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that?
Constantly.
Okay,
So it's Iceland.
it's Iceland.
Yes.
Oscar.
I love that video. It's Oscar from Iceland. I'll probably like put that link in the description because it's important that everyone
Shout
sees
out
it.
to Oscar from Iceland.
It's from 2009. We need an update on how he's doing.
Where is he?
I hope Stallone is okay. His dog. Have you met my dog? Here he is, Stallone, like in the cliffhanger movies. And then you can hear like the dog breathing, but like you can't see him because he's in a void. And he's just like, Stallone, where are you, you stupid dog? And then you hear him barking. The comedic timing and the visual, it's so good. It's important.
Stop thinking about Stallone.
We never did see him.
I imagine Stallone is like a beagle for some reason.
He probably is. He probably looks like a generic dog.
Yeah, he probably just looks like the most basic kind of dog.
Maddie's dog looks like when people just the first thing you think of when you think of a dog, like a white dog with brown spots, and it's like kind of chunky, but like in an appealing way.
My dog is kind of chunky. She has an underbite, and she has black spots around her eyes, and she has a bald spot on her side. It's not, like, unhealthy. She just has it. And she's afraid of men. And she's fat. And I'd die for her. I have killed for her.
Maddie, that doesn't help her.
Yes, it does.
Alright, so Sarah, what else about...
Okay, so like it's Iceland all year round and stuff, and so everybody's wearing chainmail. It's like all the men are wearing chainmail, unless they're the poor people that are on the streets getting the potatoes. Fun thing, up until the 1900s, so 400 years after cavemen until the 1900s, there was always people begging in the streets with no shoes for potatoes. Keep that in mind. So you got all that happening, and then sometimes you go and have the people wearing like the fluffy, like almost pirate shirts, but like brown color instead, and they're kind of more like almost potato sacks.
Gotcha.
And stuff, and those are the poets. That's what they wear, and they just kind of sit in the courtyards on like a rock, and they just kind of read their poetry, and then sometimes they'll have like a Spanish guitar, you know?
This sounds right. Everywhere has a Spanish. Like, this is in Italy, but they have Spanish guitars.
So you got that going and stuff, and then there's like then you kind of just, they live in like a dark basement is where all the sculptors live, just like in the basements of the city.
That's probably where Michelangelo
just an underground.
They could, like, he could have bought like a really nice house, but he probably just lived in a hole just to be spiteful because like he's just like I hate my house, and they're like, you could buy a better one, and he's like, no.
No, they're either like in basements or they're in like factory type places, but like in empty warehouses. There you go.
Empty warehouse.
That's where all the sculptors live, is they live in that area where there's no ventilation. So it's bad time. But they don't know what ventilation is, so it doesn't matter. And then there's the painters, and they go from living in like the 1-bedroom apartment, studio apartment, looking over the city and stuff, and they're painting, but then they go and immediately realize, wow, I can't afford this, painting sucks, and then they're just on the streets begging for potatoes, which is why there's so many potato beggars.
There were studio apartments
in the Renaissance in the 1200s.
Okay.
What else? Like the girls and stuff, they wear like the big poofy dresses and everything. Just like the normal stuff that you would expect from the 1800s but in the 1200s.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
Start talking about talk about our Renaissance painters. And the sculptors, the big boys. Tell me something about Michelangelo.
Like them Teenage Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about them. So you have to say what the... Yeah, but I don't know any of their names.
Start with Donatello.
Okay, so Donatello... so I know Donatello is before Michelangelo. Donatello is before Michelangelo, because Michelangelo was born in the 90s.
Would you care to elaborate? Would you care to elaborate, Sarah?
So, Michelangelo's creation of Adam.
Okay.
Michael was born in the 1990s because that's when, Space Jam, right?
Yeah.
Is that the movie that has Michael Jordan in it? So all Michaels were born in the 90s, even though Michael Jordan wasn't even, like, born in the 90s. He was already probably, like, 30.
I thought Space Jam was Shaq. Didn't it? I've never seen Space Jam.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's the basketball movie for
Michael Jordan.
Okay, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. So all Michaels were born in the 90s, even though Michael Jordan was probably already 30.
Like the anime guy?
And then Angelo, because that's like an old name, like Angelo. So he was born in like the 1400s. And then like creation of Adam is very Bible. And so I think Bible, Jesus, so like 400 BC.
All right.
So that's that. So then Donatello came before that, and he had the twink dude.
Elaborate on the twink dude.
It's the David one.
Yeah.
Where there's the caressing of the beard or whatever.
On his toe.
On his toe.
Give that a Google. Look up the beard specifically.
So I know that he came first because of that. And then, like, Donatello sounds like a Play-Doh brand. Like a Play-Doh. Sounds like something you would do with Play-Doh. Like, you have a Donatello Play-Doh. I don't know. I just hear that.
Okay. I got you.
I'm not even joking. Like, I think of Donatello, and I don't know. I just think of something that has to do with Play-Doh. Or clay, just something like that, but not like the fancy clay, like the children's clay.
Well, for some reason, my brain is in like education mode. So when you say Play-Doh, I think the philosopher, not the.
You, Play-Doh, as in plaything. Me, an intellectual. Play-Doh, philosophy.
My brain was really confused because it went immediately to philosophy instead of the
No, Maddy, what is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Why would Sarah think of anything that's not
made after the movie?
And stuff. So like I just think of like Donatello seems a very modern name. And then what's a modern thing? Play-Doh.
How many Donatellos do you know?
One. My roommate.
Your roommate's Donatello. Oh.
Her last name is Donatello. So ha! You don't know.
For some reason I was thinking of Donatello as a first name.
No. Donatello, my
Ninja Turtle.
That's because of the Ninja Turtles.
No, I just think like it's very like Italian, so like spaghetti and like Play-Doh is Donatello.
You can make spaghetti out of Play-Doh.
There you go. So spaghetti Play-Doh is who Donatello is.
They say fun to play with, not to eat, but we all know that they're just hiding something.
Tell me what to do.
Apparently it tastes like peanut butter.
Really?
No, it just tastes like salt.
Really?
Have you never eaten Play-Doh?
No, I followed the instructions on the box.
I heard people go and say that it tastes like peanut butter. Wait.
Lip gloss, flavored lip gloss? Fucking my shit. It probably, like, fucked up my intestines a little bit, but...
Would you care to elaborate on your experience eating,
What does Play-Doh taste like?
See, I'm a good interviewer because I've asked follow-up questions.
You're right. And I have a follow-up answer. First I want to know what Play-Doh tastes like. What's it taste like?
I'm trying to... You continue. Okay. I'll let you know.
So, I, would eat... like flavored, well, it technically was scented, but it also was flavored. It was scented and flavored lip gloss, but I didn't do it when I was like really little. I like stopped in 6th grade. I ate lip gloss for a long time.
It tastes like a warm, uncooked, salty biscuit dough.
It does.
It's just flour and a lot of salt.
So it's edible. Why are they fucking telling me not to eat it?
Tastes like salty vanilla dough is what people are saying.
You probably
I don't know. Somebody told me it tastes like
eat it. Because it's just salt and flour.
Lip gloss probably doesn't even have anything food in it.
Does Play-Doh...
I probably just ate mashed together chemicals.
Does Play-Doh taste like peanut butter? A bunch of stories.
And I'm not talking like I ate it off my lips, like I licked my lips and tasted it that way. I'm talking like I squeezed the tube into my mouth.
Like, I just imagine you in 6th grade and they're like the teacher's just like, Maddie, what are you hiding? And you like pick up your head behind the book and your like face is covered in like pink sparkles and you're like, nothing.
That's exactly what happened.
So like I sucked my thumb until 5th grade, you ate lip gloss until 6th grade, we all have our vices.
Sarah, what did you do?
5 years ago, Battle of the Gods was in theaters and that's when I turned to see. Anyway, what do you want?
Sarah, what's the weird thing you did? I ate lip gloss until 6th grade, and Sammy sucked her thumb until 5th.
I sucked my ring and middle finger. That was my thing.
That is so weirdly inappropriate.
No, when I was little, I would do that instead of my thumb. I would do those.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about something you did for a long time that you shouldn't have.
I mean, have you ever... when I don't... There was this one time that I was... Do you know, like, those little, like, mini soccer games that you can get? That you got, like, a little soccer field? Yeah, but, like, a tiny, like, a little one.
Tiny miniature.
Like, the balls are, like, real small.
Yeah, tiny foosball.
I ate those.
Oh.
Why did you eat it?
I don't know. I just... Yeah, because
you can't chew that.
No, all I remember is just this one time I was at, like, my daycare, and I just said... And then... I don't know whether I insinuated it or somebody else when it asked me to, but somehow I ended up swallowing like 2 or 3 of them.
Regardless, I've never thought to put a plastic thing in my mouth and swallow it. I've put many plastic things in my mouth, but I've never swallowed them because I knew.
No, because it was rolling around my mouth and I think I swallowed it. And I was like, ooh, that was a weird feeling. Then I tried it again.
Okay, so when my little brother Dylan was, how old was he? He was little, 6 maybe, so I was 10 or 9. So me and my friend Ryan, who was my age, we sometimes would hang out with Dylan because he also liked Pokemon and we liked Pokemon. So
Pokemon's good.
Yeah, we'd all play Pokemon, but we weren't playing Pokemon that day. We were just hanging out. And so my friend Ryan and I were like, hey, we should see if Dylan will believe us if we pretend to me. Sarah just showed me a mix of the cowboy emoji and the drooling emoji.
Yeah, that's Maddy.
That is me. So anyway, so me and my friend Ryan, who were way too old to be doing this shit, but I digress. We were like, hey, we should trick Dylan into thinking that we can put this tiny. It was like one of those jewelry beads, you know, like a little round one. We were pretending to put it in our ear and pulling it out of our mouth, but we were just keeping it on our hands, which was really obvious, but Dylan was 6.
So stupid.
So he was stupid. And so my little brother Dylan was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then while we were watching, he tried to do it, but he actually just shoved the bead into his ear because he thought he kept coughing into his hand. And we were like, Dylan, what the fuck are you doing? He was like, I put the bead in my ear, but it won't come out of my mouth. And we were like, you what? And he was like, yeah, I put the bead in my ear. And we're trying not to freak out because when you freak out in front of a child, they know something's wrong. And so he's like, where'd it go? And we were like, it's still in your ear. So he starts crying. And my mom comes in and we have to explain what happened. So Ryan just lived across the street, so he goes home. And my mom and I are trying to get this bead out of Dylan's ear. and Dylan's crying the whole time, and it won't come out. We can't get the bead out of his ear. He shoved it.
It's still in there to this day.
He shoved it into his ear, and so we have to take him to the doctor, like the hospital, like the emergency room, to get this bead out of his ear.
You probably see like 50 cases of that a day.
Yeah, and so what they did to get the bead out of his ear, because they had to like put him in a straitjacket, basically, to keep him from like wiggling. But, like, I guess he fucking calmed down at that point because he kept singing about how he was a burrito as they were wrapping him up. As they were wrapping him up in this thing. And so he kept singing about how he was a burrito. And, like, he was straight chilling. So I think they thought he was going to be an easy kid. But as soon as they started to do the actual thing, he just started screaming.
What did they do?
Nothing. Well, I mean, he couldn't do anything. They just held him there. And,
was it like a vacuum thing?
I don't remember. I wasn't in the room for that part. I just know they got it out of his ear.
Do you remember the thing from iCarly where the mom was vacuuming Freddie's ear?
No.
I do.
Yeah, just getting waxed out of his ear.
Mrs. Benson vacuumed Freddie Benson's ear.
Mrs. Benson was on another plane.
Remember when she dated Rupert?
Lubert.
That's it.
His name was Grosser.
His name was Grosser. I always get it confused because there was that episode where they stole their idea and they had the guy named Rupert and his real name was Lubert, and I get them confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's Donatello. Let's do you just did Michelangelo and Donatello, right?
Yeah. Do okay. Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo's beef.
Do you know anything about that? Oh.
Okay. Well, does Leonardo? Well, I always mess up because I always think of Leonardo DiCaprio, who I don't trust. He's not a trustworthy man.
All right.
Fight me on that.
That's going to be like a topic of debate for a lot of people to hear that.
I think he's perfectly fine, but I look at him and I feel like he's going to do me wrong. I don't know what he's going to do me wrong with, but it's something. That's why I always, every time I hear it, like and then I think of Da Vinci, I think of that movie. Is it the Da
Vinci Code?
Yeah, I don't know. No, National Treasure.
Oh.
For some reason, I think it's that
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and then there's a pyramid, and there's an eye.
So that's what you think of
when I think of Leonardo
da Vinci?
Yeah. I think of a pyramid.
Leonardo da Vinci.
I think of a pyramid with an eye on it. I don't know what he's made. What has he made?
The Mona Lisa.
Well, that's kind of boring. What else has he made?
Madonna of the Rocks.
Boring. No,
Last Supper.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. You're right. My bad.
He made Last Supper. Have you seen that thing of the people at Denny's that made Last Supper much better than Michael's? Or not Michael, Leo's. Is Leonardo DiCaprio a Leo? Wait, not DiCaprio, Da Vinci.
I don't know if we know exactly when Leonardo da Vinci's birthday is.
Well, I'm going to have to search that. Anyways, what else do you want?
Okay, so...
Well, they had beef.
Yeah, they did have beef.
Well, tell me about their beef. I don't know.
They were both gay, but that didn't have to do with it.
Just on a side note, it was gay beef.
They were just different kinds, where, like, Leonardo it was just like, yeah, get with the times, everyone's doing it, and Michelangelo was like, I'm doing the hell, but I don't wanna. It was a very real fear for him.
Yes.
Wait.
He was never...
Alright, do you want to know what Leonardo da Vinci was? What? He was an Aries.
Oh my god!
Oh. He was born on April 15th.
Oh, he probably was. He never finished his commissions.
No, he didn't.
He was just...
No one would hire him, like, to do things because even though he was super talented, he wouldn't finish anything ever.
And then, Michelangelo was a Pisces.
I don't know that much about Pisces.
Pisces probably don't do much, but my only frame of reference is Fairy from Homestuck, who didn't do much.
But yeah, Da Vinci was an Aries, in case you're wondering.
Alright, Leo was...
And he never finished his things. Like, the Mona Lisa was a commission to paint, like, a 15-year-old girl for, like, a present for her, and she never got it because he just wouldn't finish it.
Which is really fucking hilarious.
Oh wait, I'm gonna look at the compatibility.
And they also didn't like each other because Leonardo da Vinci was primarily a painter.
There is a strong attraction between Aries and Pisces.
Ooh. Who's a Pisces?
Michelangelo.
Wait, I thought it was Raphael, not Michelangelo.
No, he had beef with Leonardo da Vinci and it was like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Remember, because in class I was saying that.
You're right.
Yeah, although the first impression will be powerful, a number of differences will have to be addressed. You need to practice caution before getting into a relationship with a Pisces. And then Aries is going to be tough and can get through difficult situations without bruising their ego. And Pisces will be helpful towards your sympathy and such. But yeah, they're a very strong initial attraction. By the time it goes on, this level of attraction will decrease because they hate each other.
If somebody writes me a Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo fan fiction, we'll read it on this podcast. If anyone is out there in the void, we will read it. But anyway, so they had beef because Leonardo da Vinci was a painter and Michelangelo thought that painting was a lesser art form because it was too easy for him because he was a sculptor and he saw, and so he was just like, Leonardo da Vinci's not even that good. He's a painter, so like that's not even hard.
He's also a bitch and a half.
Yeah, Michelangelo was just crotchety.
Michelangelo was like cranky and like. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
He was an old curmudgeon.
Yeah, curmudgeon. That's basically what I was
no fan fiction. Only things for the Ninja Turtles.
Well,
aren't they?
Aren't they related?
Yeah, or basically as related as turtles that were in a sewer can be, I guess.
They're basically brothers.
They were raised together.
I mean, like if Maddy and I were both born in the same sewer and they grew up in that sewer together. We'd basically be siblings.
Yeah, they were raised by
a rat.
A rat who told, they thought they were brothers. They were raised as brothers.
Yeah, but if you think about it, how many things are, this guy and a girl were raised together and now they're dating.
That's weird, too.
Yeah, but that's like a more common thing that people do. They're like, oh, they've been friends since childhood.
Being friends since childhood is different than being raised together.
No, even people do that. They'll, do the same, it's the same...
Yeah,
that's still weird. If you were raised
I was friends with Zane for 4 years, and he said that he sees me more as like an annoying younger sister than anything. Goes. Even though I'm older than him.
Usually that's how that goes. If you've known someone since they're little, it's like not likely that you're going to be attracted to them.
Yeah, because you just see them as the way you saw them as a child,
or you know too much about them.
Like you witnessed the time that they shit themselves at a Denny's or something. This podcast is sponsored by Denny's.
Can we go to a Denny's? Denny's must have mass.
I don't want to go to Denny's.
I'd be okay with Denny's. That. I like IHOP. I want to go to IHOP soon. I'm really, because I want me some pancakes. I got a hankering.
Go right now.
No, we're recording.
After the podcast.
Well, your parents aren't your parents coming to pick you up?
They are leaving the house at 6, so I got time.
We don't know how much time.
Yeah, I got money because I didn't want Dodie's tickets.
Yeah, did she tell you she couldn't get Dodie's tickets?
Yeah.
Pressing.
Hey, Dodie, if you're out there, can you give Sara, hit up Sara and just to acknowledge her existence? She'll lose her marbles.
We're gonna title this video Dodie Clark. Please watch.
Dodie Clark, please respond. Dodie Clark, please respond. I'm trying to think of when we say Sans Undertale or Cherry Studio Killers. I'm trying to think of a version for Dodie, but she's like her own person. Dodie Indie Singer.
It's Dodie no Clark lowercase d. That's what she does.
Dodie D. That's not as funny. I like Dodie Indie Singer.
Dodie Indie Singer, please address us.
I have $17, so if you all after this want to go to IHOP, we can.
I kind of do.
Alright, after this we'll go to
After this. Hopefully, we'll have enough time, because I don't want your parents to be like, yo, we here, and we in the middle of IHOP.
Well, no, because unless we're going to be at IHOP for, over 2 hours.
Alright.
Because they leave the house at 6.
This podcast is sponsored by IHOP.
Yep.
Okay. And they told me to eat here anyways, so.
Alright, because they're not going to feed you when you get home.
Well, by the time we get home, it's going to be 9 o'clock.
That's true.
Okay.
At least.
Wait, okay, so we were talking about, so that's the gist of Leo and Michelangelo's beef.
Because I was saying in class, Michelangelo and Leonardo, Michelangelo is standing outside Leonardo da Vinci's house, yelling up to his window, throwing rocks, and he's just like, hey, hey, Leonardo da Vinci. And he's just like, what? And he's like, you heard me, da Vinci. What do you, was there, so, too bad there's no room for you on that door.
But they're Italian, there's no room for you on that door.
And then Leonardo da Vinci's just like, why don't you go home on your bike, Bichelangelo? And he's like, that doesn't even make sense. And he's like, ride home, Bichelangelo.
Why don't you go home on your bike, Bichelangelo? That doesn't even make sense. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So, I'm glad we had this discussion.
That doesn't even make sense. Bike home, Bichelangelo.
So, do you have anything else about Leonardo da Vinci?
Literally, all I think of is like a coin that's in a pyramid. No, not the Illuminati, no. Just a generic eye on a pyramid, and there's like a coin, and there's money involved. Do you know it's the Drake and Josh movie?
What?
Make that, but with pyramids. Because remember, did you not watch the Drake and Josh movie?
I did, but I remember there being a monkey, but I think that was a Christmas movie.
No, they wouldn't have money. Their whole thing was that they thought that they went to some place and they thought that they stole money and they went to jail and they had to go and like figure out who was printing all this fake money.
Oh no, I remember that.
Yeah. So pretty much the Drake and Josh movie, but make it the Nicolas Cage, like you combine the Nicolas Cage movie and the Drake and Josh movie. That's Leonardo DiCaprio, Da Vinci. See, I don't even know his name.
That was such a wild progression. Okay, what about Raphael?
Raphael, okay. So Raphael, all I can think of is the angel dude that was in Supernatural. Alright. So I don't know anything about him. I think, was he my favorite? Wait.
Speaking of angels, can we talk about Creepypasta and Jeff the Killer, who did nothing wrong?
He killed his whole family.
He didn't know. He didn't know what he was
James'
doing.
Life. No, he wasn't my favorite. Okay, I don't care about Raphael.
It was
Gabriel. It was Gabriel. Okay, so one of my friends made me watch Supernatural. It's but Gabriel was my fave, not Raphael. And I think Gabriel's back. I don't know. I haven't watched the new season. But there is a dude named Raphael who I thought was Gabriel, so I was wrong. But still, I don't know anything about Raphael. I just kind of think of angels going and fighting each other and stabbing themselves. So I don't know what did he make?
Madonna of the Meadow.
Boring. Next.
Didn't he do School of Athens?
Yeah, he did School of Athens.
Okay, so see, but angels. I thought he was one of the angels.
He's not.
Okay. No, but Raphael's a fake name.
You're calling Raphael out on this podcast.
Raphael, I also think he's like another dude that's from like the 1300s. Raphael, it's such a fake name.
He's the edgy Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, he's fake. He's fake on his edginess. No, he's not. He's not a real. He's edgy because he doesn't know who he is, so he's fake.
You've never seen the Ninja Turtles. You don't know anything.
I found her sore spot.
Ninja Turtles. And
I found her sore spot. No.
To eat Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a staff shell. Turtle power. Turtles in a staff shell. Turtle power.
You killed the lemon tree.
Okay, so I guess it's not entirely correct. Entirely incorrect, but he's actually that angry. He's just not actually that he's faked it. He's kind of he has layers.
Raphael sounds like a fake dude.
He has layers like an onion.
Onions
see that pussy.
Yes, and every time you remove a layer, you figure out just how fake they were.
No. Shrek has layers. Shrek is a fake bit. Raphael the Ninja Turtle has layers.
Shrek is fake, and so is Raphael. Raphael never existed.
I can't believe you also insulted Shrek in the process of this.
I can attack anyone.
No.
Anyone else you want to call out, Sarah?
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't trust him.
You already did that, though.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying. So we got him, I don't trust. We got Raphael was a fake person in general. I don't even know if he exists. No, they just had a bunch of art and they're like, this is kind of similar. Who could have made it? Raphael? Yeah, that works.
I'm sure he signed it.
Yeah. No, somebody else came in and they just signed it.
You have to watermark your work.
Yeah, somebody came. Yeah, nobody signed it. Somebody came in, signed it, and that's why he's fake.
I remember one time there was this like person who posted. So this person reposted a bunch of like creepypasta art from like a bunch of well-known artists. Like I could name some of them just by looking at it, and they said, "Here's some things that I drew," and I'm like, "You didn't draw any of these. I can tell you what artists did these."
They're all in different styles.
Yeah, they were completely different styles. One was Dark Cupboard. One was, I don't remember what it was, but like I just remember Dark Cupboard because I like their style. And they don't put, hey, Dark Cupboard, if you're out there, can you please draw more Splendor Man? Ooh, we gotta do hot take up in here. Maddie. Maddie.
Oh, Maddie has a list of people who she thinks that she's smashed.
Jeff the Killer's on it.
Who else, Maddie?
Jeff the Killer's on everyone's, whether they'll admit it or not.
Yeah, I think that's the first step to getting better is admitting it. So,
who else, Maddie?
Who
else is on this list?
Jeff Goldblum, but he's
a lot of Jeffs.
He's still smashable. Like, okay, I realize that he's 50, 60, 80.
He's not 80.
He's not 80.
He's a silver fox.
Yeah, he's sexy, and like,
it's not a controversial personality. It's not a controversial opinion to say that Jeff Goldblum is sexy.
Apparently it is.
How old is Jeff Goldblum? 65.
That's hot.
It's weird. What's weird to me is that he's 6'4".
I know.
Why is he so
he
tall?
also thinks that you have to be a special kind of adult man to wear sandals in public.
To show your feet in public.
You really have to be a very special kind of
man to show your feet in public. That's what he said. In reference, he was in a video where he was critiquing Jeff Goldblum tattoos. And
imagine like you get a Jeff Goldblum tattoo and he just goes, it's I don't think that's very good representation of what I look like. I personally feel that.
He gave like all of them 10 out of 10 Goldblums.
Well, that's because it's his face.
You're right.
I think he knows.
No, you could tell from his reaction for some of them. He was kind of like,
There was this one where he was, I think he said that one didn't really look like him.
This one doesn't really, I feel like this one doesn't really capture my essence in which, like, I'm a very charming, attractive figure, and I feel like this one doesn't really capture that.
He's married to somebody that's very young.
Because she knows. Like, I don't care how old you are. If Jeff Goldblum comes to you at a party, like, bitch, she knew exactly what she was doing.
She knew who was coming. She's like,
hello, I'm sure you've heard of me. I am Jeff Goldblum, the sex symbol of Jurassic Park, and
I've never seen Jurassic Park.
Yes.
I still haven't seen that.
He introduces himself like that.
Yeah, do you see Jurassic Park?
I am the sex symbol of Jurassic Park, and you probably know me very well. I was in a recent movie where it's called Thor Ragnarok. Yes, I was the Grandmaster. It was a very sexy role of me. I was wearing flip flops. I think you can see them very clearly in this one scene.
He's a special kind of adult man.
I am a special kind of adult man because I am aware that my feet are very charming, and so I played the Grandmaster, but like they didn't really give me any direction. They just
she said Grandmaster. I could hear it.
Correct. That was the correct inflection.
You said that perfectly. That was actually
a Grandmaster.
You even said it like it's almost like even the same like deep, same, like just a tiny bit deeper.
Almost. Yeah. You were nearing.
I'm told that I can do good impressions of certain people, but not like I can get their voice. Like, I sound like them, but in a way where I can get the inflection very well.
He has very specific speech patterns where if you just get them down, you can do Jeff Goldblum.
The Grandmaster.
Yeah.
And they actually didn't really give me any direction. It was very interesting. They gave me this gold cape, and they told me to have fun with it, and so I certainly did. I had a lot of fun.
Sarah's freaking out.
Sarah's like, oh my god, is
like Jeff Goldblum is in the room
possessing Sarah.
You'd be honored.
I want a movie where someone is it's The Exorcist. It's The Exorcist, but they're possessed by Jeff Goldblum. So instead of it's like, your mother sucks cocks in hell, it's like, you see, I feel that your mother is making very she's making her own decisions as a rational, consenting adult in hell, but like she's doing some very blasphemous activity down there. She's I believe she's I don't need to.
Just as you know. Okay, so who else is on my list?
But also, like, the little girl is, like, in bed, like lying in bed, like in the thing from Jurassic Park, she's sitting like that, and she's just like, so, I understand that your mother is a rational, consenting adult, right, even though she is in hell, but I do believe that she is partaking in some very rambunctious activity.
Rambunctious?
How long have we been going? Let's see.
Probably a while.
I can't read. I think it's been like 41 minutes.
We can go for 4 more.
Yeah, we can go. This is just the pilot, so we'll make it kind of short.
My parents said like 7:30ish.
Heck.
When they're leaving or when they're getting here?
If we like go, we'll have like an hour there. Because if anything, I can just have them like pull over to the road and bring us back.
Yeah. So
Right. If need be.
Okay,
so have me do something else. Like what? Let's do an open RP as Jeff Goldblum.
I don't want to do an open RP. I already did one with you as 2D.
Yeah. Oh, I should do my 2D impression.
Oh, yeah.
I can see. I'm very proud.
Conversation between 2D and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh no!
Hi. I'm 2D from Gorillaz, and I'm allegedly the front man. Murdoch says that I'm the beautiful blue-haired angel. I don't really like the way he says it though. And, so I'm the front man of Gorillaz, and I would like to die, but Murdoch won't let me. Like he's in cahoots with the devil, and I think he went down there and told all. El Diablo, as he calls him. That's how, or at least that's how he's saved in his phone, as El Diablo.
The pepper.
Yeah, with the pepper emoji. So I think he went down there and he told the devil not to let me die because once I'm gone, there's no more Gorillaz, because Murdoch, he can't really sing himself. He's got like years of cigarettes, and also, generally when he sings, people try to hurt him, and he's kind of into that, but only when he's like prepared for it. And so, I'm stuck here permanently, and I won't die. And I've been trying, like I mean, not like actively, just like
sometimes.
I don't really look when I cross the road, but sometimes I just forget. It's kind of hard to remember. I'm actually very afraid of cars. Murdoch hit me with one twice.
Dude, has nightmares about cars.
Yeah, and Wales and Grace Jones. She hit. Well, you see, I was holding 2 cups of orange juice. Grace Jones asked me if Grace Jones asked me if I could help her with her coat, and I said I couldn't because I had 2 cups of orange juice, and she started hitting me with a handbag. That was rather short-sighted on my part, though. I should have put down one of the cups of orange juice and helped her with her jacket, so it was my fault, really. I'm sorry, I haven't let you talk the whole time. What's your name again? Yes, I am. As I've said before, I am Jeff Goldblum, the sex symbol of Jurassic Park. You are the sex symbol of what is it again? The monkeys. Yes, that is what you are. So we have something very similar. We have a lot of things in common. We are both 8 feet tall, mostly legs, and we. What else do we have in common? We seem to like orange juice. We have that. I have not met Grace Jones, but I am sure that I would probably also be afraid of her if I were to meet her. So, what brings you here today? I don't know where I am. You are actually in the Grand Masters.
I hate that.
So I'm very proud of these.
Is Jeff Goldblum also in character right now, and you just can't tell because he doesn't change his voice?
Yes, we'll see, he is. Well, actually, I am. Well, I am both Jeff Goldblum and the Grandmaster. I am them both simultaneously. Fun fact: Thor Ragnarok was filmed in my home. That was my actual house that they destroyed.
Say Grandmaster.
Grandmaster.
You have to say it in context.
Well, you see, hi, I am Jeff Goldblum. You may know me as the Grandmaster.
That's my story.
I like that a lot.
I can't believe the improv group didn't accept me. So, like, they said that they were afraid that I'd be too much of a loose cannon, but I think that's a risk that they should be willing to take.
I don't like it.
I have to cut out this pause.
Okay.
So, just saying, they didn't want me because they were afraid I'd be too much of a loose cannon, but I think that's a risk that they should be willing to take.
I think so,
because I'm good enough at these characters. I would win a snatch game as Murdoch any day.
You would absolutely. Okay, all I'm saying is that I think sometimes you need to take a little bit of a risk so your comedy doesn't get dry.
So yeah, like I might say something that might make people feel a little weird inside. Like not necessarily something that's like directly offensive. Like it's not something that's very clearly offensive. It's just kind of something that makes you like kind of feel like there's some like you have a tapeworm. Like you kind of feel like you got a little tapeworm, and he's like kind of going ooh.
You see that Tumblr post? That was like, I'm buying a tapeworm, and somebody responded with, "What are you gonna do with it?" And all they said was a smiley face afterwards.
That's us. I like that tweet where it's like, we're at Thanksgiving with my wife and the in-laws. Remember, you're eating for two now. You mean, yes, she's got a tapeworm.
It's you and Quinn.
It is. Quinn is my lovely GF that I have held captive on my wonderful spaceship of the Grandmaster. This planet. It's you know what?
Well, he has the orgy ship too.
Yes.
Where was it? Planet.
Well, planets are just planets. Well, planets are just natural spaceships.
Yeah.
Right now we are on Earth, allegedly, as far as we know. And
what planet is the Grandmaster from?
I am from the planet
Sakaar.
That sounds like sexy.
Sexy.
Sex car.
He's from
speaking of sex car, I have a small version of that aforementioned spaceship where it's a car and it's small and it. All right, I will wrap it up. Maddie, get that bobby pin out of your mouth. You're making me nervous.
It's mine now.
All right, so we will be wrapping this up. I'm your host, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum, the Grandmaster.
Don't do that.
Sex symbol of Jurassic Park. And is there anything? So you guys, so we do illustration. Would you care to include your Instagrams or wherever people would like to find you on this interweb?
Okay. My Instagram. I don't know. Okay, so my Instagram, my art Instagram is Bibbles, BIHBBLES. And then I have a personal, but I'm not going to put that on here.
And then Sarah, who are you?
I am Arpal Tunnel, a pun on carpal tunnel. So spell it carpal tunnel.
Because Sarah has everything wrong with each other.
Sarah's joints are falling out of her body.
In this moment.
Right now.
And I am Poltergeist Soup. I will be including these in the description. And join us next week for our other special question, which will be if you could replace your tendons with anything, what would it be? Ooh. Don't answer it now because we gotta wait. So see you later.
Hell yeah.